point I want to emphasize are the types of cohorts. So you have decided you want to do a cohort study. There are three types of cohorts. There is a prospective cohort, जो कि हम typically समझते हैं. There is a retrospective cohort, and there is an ambivert cohort. Just have this one. Okay, so if let me just first revise the prospective and retrospective. So prospective was you have recruited patients with the exposure. So one group of patient has tendency to develop rashes or a chronic rash, and the other group of patients does not have a chronic rash. And you follow them for, in the future, for 10, 20 years, and you see how many patients from the rash group develop skin cancer and how many patients from the other group, from the non-rash group develop skin cancer. Simple prospective cohort. Calculate risk, absolute risk, relative risk. Retrospective cohort would be that you have records. Now, prospective cohort may the exposure has occurred and the outcome is yet to occur, right? Exposure, that is the rash, had occurred. That is why you were able to divide the patients into two groups or the subjects into two groups. Exposure has occurred and outcome is to occur in future. In case of retrospective cohort, exposure has occurred in the past, distant past, and outcome has also occurred but in the more recent past. Okay, I'll repeat. In the retrospective cohort, the exposure has occurred in the distant part, in the distant part, and the outcome has also occurred but in the more recent past. So you will take medical records and you will see the distant past. How many patients are registered with your dermatology clinic with skin rashes, and you also look at some who were not, who were coming with other complaints but not skin rashes. And this is records from, say, 20 years ago. And then this is the equivalent of recruiting patients according to risk, but in the past, because you were seeing records of distant past, and you would notice, start gathering data of patients who came with the rash, and those and also include a group of patients again from the same time period who did not come with rash. Then you go to the recent past and you will see how many patients, and this recent past can be, say, 5 years ago. So now you have a space of 15 years in between. You will see how many patients from the group which had rashes, how many of those patients develop cancer, and the group without rashes, how many of those patients develop cancer. Both these observations are in the past, but exposure is in the distant past and outcome is in the recent past. This is retrospective cohort. Why? Because still we are going from exposure to outcome. Exposure is older than outcome. And then the third variety I'm going to show you now is the ambidirectional, meaning goes in two directions. Okay, so here the exposure has occurred in the past. So you don't want to do a long follow-up. So in the retrospective part means you will open the records and see 5 years ago how many patients came with rash. They were the exposed patients. And how many patients came without rash. That will be the unexposed patient. And this is data from 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Now you will start following these patients. 10 years have already passed, so you have a head start. And then you follow these patients for another 10 years or 5 years. So the outcome is now 5 years in the future. So this is the prospective. इसमें ये फायदा होता है कि you can save time on follow-up. If you manage to still identify those patients, you can take, and a perfect example of this would be if you have records of BCG vaccinations. In the current scenario, we have a theory that BCG might protect people from coronavirus. And if we can find records of people who have BCG vaccination, and they would be like if 30 years old right now, or 40 years old, and then we can identify them and see in the next 2-3 years, however long this corona pandemic lasts, how many of those succumb to corona and how many of those don't succumb to corona. So this can be a practical example of an ambidirectional study in which your retrospective part has the exposure, and the prospective part is now cut short. The follow-up is cut short because most of it has happened in the past. So this is a good example which we can do. And same way, those people who are doing research on gynecological patients or obstetric patients you recruit when they first become pregnant, they can also look for an exposure in the first trimester. And if they recruit the patients in the second trimester, then they can follow them up to outcome at the time of delivery, whatever outcome they choose. And this can again be another example of an ambidirectional cohort study. This was all I wanted to talk about.